Let's get more on this now with our guest Mahjoob Zweiri, who joins us live now from Doha in Qatar. He's the Director of Gulf Studies Center at Qatar University. Really good to have you with us, Mahjoob. Firstly, is it a good sign that talks between Israel and Hamas have resumed in Doha after that stalemate that we saw a few weeks ago?
There was a little hope before the phone call between Biden and Netanyahu last night, because the statements came from Washington and Israel were messing things up. Basically, Biden administration, they still giving the green light for Rafah. They are just trying to put asking for some details and inviting some delegation to visit and give more details about how this can be done. And Netanyahu got what he wants. Basically, he still have the support and legitimacy and the coverage of what he's doing in Gaza. Now he's sending his delegation to Doha with a very major message. 6 weeks is fine, releasing all captives and nothing else. So this is not exactly what Hamas wants, which basically 3 stages of 126 days of truce, including basically allowing humanitarian aid to come into Gaza in a very daily basis with at least 800 trucks a day, and also thinking about the day after, which basically talking about rebuilding Gaza. So there's a huge gap between both sides, as I see it.
And it looks like at this stage that neither side is willing to budge from their positions over a potential ceasefire. We saw there, as you mentioned, the leaders of the US and Israel speaking for the first time in a month. We know tensions have been growing between the two countries because Biden has been more outspoken about calling for an immediate ceasefire, and even some senior members of his own government are calling for fresh elections, essentially saying that Benjamin Netanyahu's leadership is no longer tenable in Israel. Do you believe that Biden is really applying genuine pressure on Netanyahu to scale back his offensive?
To be honest, I'm not convinced that what the American administration is doing is convincing. There's an American saying, if you cannot convince them, confuse them. What the Americans doing now, they are confusing the world, basically, because they are sending conflict messages about what should be done. They show empathy with the killing, but they are not doing enough to get the humanitarian aid. They want to have the port, and the port approved now is the interest of Israel rather than the interest of the Palestinian, because Israel wants Palestinian to leave Gaza. So everything Biden administration is doing now is motivated by the elections. Everything is done in Israel motivated by the survival of Netanyahu, and who's paying the price? Guess? Well, the Gazan people. Gazan people are the victims. More than 32,000 people are killed. More than 75,000 people are injured. And the destruction we are seeing. So basically, I'm not sure that anyone can rely on the American position to stop this war. I think Europeans, they seem their voice louder, but unfortunately they don't have the hammers and they don't have the tools because they are also relying on American leadership in a way or other. And I see that the American administration so far is trying to look at, the election side rather than to solve the major issue. And this actually is not surprising me, because I remember when Biden came to power, he actually said Middle East is not in his top priority in the foreign policy. He's focusing on China and Asia. So there's no surprise that there is a sort of lack of vision and lack of understanding of what's happening in the region, which we reflected now in the war in Gaza.
Okay, Mahjoob Zweiri, we'll have to leave it there. Really good to get your analysis as always. Thanks again for joining us.
My pleasure.